Welcome, welcome. We are chatting today about how to work smarter, not harder, as a female entrepreneur. Jen and I always go live to talk to you about different ways that you can harness your energy cycles. And there's so many different ways that you can do this in your life, in your business. But what we're going to be talking about today are the 5 cycles that we've identified that have really helped us leverage our business and our energy cycles within our business. And it's been really huge, actually, for both of us. I'm a manifesting generator. This is one of my energy cycles. Jen is a projector, her energy cycle. And so in human design, there's 5 different energy types, and each energy type has a different way of showing up in the world and presenting their energy. How, when you understand your energy type, it really helps you shift how you're actually able to show up, in life and in business. So as a manifesting generator, I tend to have a lot of energy, right? I have that sacral energy. I have my root energy. I have my solar plexus. So I have an emotional wave. So I have lots of things going on. And Jen has a whole different set of energy cycles that she leverages in her business and her life. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Jen, tell us a little bit about just a projector energy cycle, how that sort of affects you in life and business.
Yeah, so we're really inconsistent. I've, especially this week, have been embracing my inconsistency that when I get the hit to do it, when my emotions are with me as an emotional authority, then I can pop in and do what I need to do. And being a projector, being so efficient, it's really great to be able to, within my energy type, work smarter, not harder. So really honoring that, as projectors, we really only need to work 4 hours a day because we can get so much done. When we're focused, when we are efficient, that is where we can really find our success. So tying my emotional authority in with that too, it really helps to look at the other energy cycles that we talk about to see how they can all fit into building our business. And it was so great over the weekend. I got to talk with a bunch of female business owners about their energy type and simply how to just bring that into their business, and just watching their eyes light up and hearing, especially from the projectors, how seen they felt just by talking about this energy type and what it means within business. It's such a key part to moving into this new paradigm as an aligned business owner.
I love how you said that, as a projector, you're so efficient and really only need to work 4 hours a day. And here I am as a manifesting generator, which with all the energy, I can work, 12-hour days essentially when I'm really lit up and excited about what I'm doing. But I also almost have, I don't want to call it ADHD, but I have a lot of like, I want to go here and I'm going to go here and then I'm going to try a little bit of this and I'm going to try a little bit of that. And so for me, understanding that that's just a part of my cycle and keeping for me like a to-do list or things I want to do, I'm able to sort of do a little bit, leave, go off and do something else, and come back almost with a refreshed energy into my business versus just sitting doing the same thing for 4 hours straight. I can't do that. And so I need to be able to get up and go have a dance party or go throw the, spin the hula hoop or go for a walk or do something that sort of resets my energy almost to be able to come back into what I want to create and do. And that was important for me to learn because forcing myself to sit down and do something for 3 hours or even maybe an hour, it's really hard. What we're trying to say here is nothing negative, right? There's no negativity in our energy types. It's understanding them so we can leverage them in a way that really supports who we are and how we do things.
Tying in our period, right? That energetic cycle of knowing and really giving ourselves permission that during that first week, when we're bleeding, when we are really releasing so much from our bodies, to rest. Yes, we can show up in our business. Yes, we can do certain things, but that's been a huge aspect within planning by design that we talk about, is really understanding those energetic cycles of each week and how to work smarter, not harder there with your energy through those different phases.
Yeah, I love that. And we have that beautiful worksheet that really talks about what you should be implementing, what you should be sort of doing in your business to actually help you understand how to leverage that time period for you to make it the most effective as possible. Now, I'll admit, as a manifesting generator, I always struggle to rest. And since I've been doing planning by design, I have worked really hard at utilizing that rest period and that rest cycle for myself. And what I have noticed when I've really honored it, Now, last week I got really sick as well. So I had to honor my sickness and my period and the full moon. So I had all three energies, and probably my emotional wave was in there somewhere as well. So I really had to honor that. And I will tell you, I knew that by Monday, today, I was going to come back with so much fire and so much interest in what I was going to be putting out there that it would just flow and be easy. And so I really just allowed myself to rest, journal, wrote to-do lists, did things that still felt productive. It wasn't that I wasn't doing anything. It just looked different to a normal productive day.
Yeah, absolutely. So just honoring that cycle and how it ties in and where it falls and needing to really address and honor that cycle is huge. And for me, the moon cycle is much higher. So I knew last week with that full moon, I really had to schedule a light week so that I didn't overdo it, so that I didn't burn out. So with, being a conscious reflector, having that reflector quality, it's so important for me to work with the moon, having my moon rituals and just really honoring my own unique energy because Mistral, you're the opposite when it comes to moon energy. I'm charged and fired up on the new moon, and with the full moon, like I need to rest.
Since I've known about these energy cycles and I've really been leveraging them, it's been so much easier for me to give myself permission and grace to actually flow with those cycles. Whereas before, I would just push through and I would just be like, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter how my body feels. It doesn't matter where my energy's at. I still have to show up. I still have to work. I still have to do all these things. And it took time, even for my partner and some of my friends, to understand what I was really trying to do and how to leverage my energy so that I could be most productive, and that them understanding that me resting or sitting on the couch and me understanding that resting on the couch or sitting and writing a to-do list for half an hour or doing a meditation is still productive. It's productive in a different way. It's just never been valued in our normal society before. So therefore, I've been programmed to believe that I was wasting time.
Laziness. I am not choosing to actively do nothing. I am choosing to rest and refuel my precious energy. So when I rest, for me, that's really working smarter, not harder. If I, push and do, I'm just going to be burned out for days and I'm going to be consumed by my bitterness, by my not self theme. And like, who wants any of that? So to
Mm.
really be successful in honoring these energy cycles is just so wonderful.
One of the things that I really value about my human design is learning my emotional wave, because one thing for me is that in addition to all those other energy cycles, there'll be days when I'm just like on fire, everything's great, life is the best, I'm abundant, everything's going great. And the next morning, I can literally wake up and feel like I'm failing at everything. And that's just my emotional wave. And so understanding that, okay, maybe I had a dream or a thought or something came or some energy came into my world that sort of took me off my high horse and dropped me into a lower emotional wave, and recognizing that and understanding, but maybe by the end of the day or even tomorrow morning or in a couple hours, I'm going to feel very different. And there's ways that we can obviously shift that energy too. Obviously, we don't want to bypass that and just like push it under the rug. That's a terrible idea. But being able to honor it, understand it, and move through it is huge. And it doesn't then set you off for days. I used to sometimes get stuck in these funk for days and days because I would just wallow in it and let it stay there versus acknowledging and saying, hey, I know this is just an emotional wave and I'll come back again. And it's not a big deal like it used to be, for sure.
Yeah, and especially that half of the world is an emotional authority. So if you are an emotional authority, it is so important to understand how your wave works, how you are meant to make decisions. And for the other half of the world, the non-emotionals, it's so important for you to understand how that works so that you can really just have this non-attached clarity for emotions, discern what is yours, what is not yours, and let that go so that you don't become emotionally burned out because of the half of the world that you likely are kind of surrounded by, or even within your household, that could be burning you out in that way. But for us, emotional authorities, yeah, we really need to ride that wave and see the clarity in the emotions and sleep on it and really understand, how it works to trust that we'll move along it.
So there's four emotional waves, and I actually have two of them. So I have two different waves that I personally ride. You might have one, you might have two. And so just learning how those affect you and maybe what is affecting you when you're doing that will help you understand whether you're in an emotional low or in an emotional high. And I know that for me, I used to oftentimes be in an emotional high and say yes to things that at the time felt really great to say yes to. And then come time to do said thing, maybe I wasn't feeling that way anymore. And I'd feel this pressure and this frustration and this, that I didn't want to do it anymore, but I would feel obligated. Whereas now I've learned when, like, I need more time to think about that. I need to come to neutrality before I make those decisions, because that is what's going to help me actually make a correct, aligned decision versus just yes, no, depending on where am in my emotional wave.
Not as to emotionals, but like it is huge so that you are continually making aligned decisions and giving yourself permission.
My really good friends have learned that I usually don't commit to anything until the day before when I know how I'm going to be feeling about something. And that's really helped me a lot. And at first, my friends did not like it, didn't understand. But now they've realized this is a part of who I am. This is a part of my strategy. And, they wait. Obviously, when I'm booking plane flights, I can't do that. So I have to commit at some stage. But, for local things or things that I can, be last minute to, I definitely allow my body to tell me and show me and feel into what I need.
So the transits are really an external energy cycle. Like when Bridget said before about the sun cycle, like you can think about the transits as the sun cycle because it is how the sun moves through the different energies that impact us. It is so influential. And if you're not paying attention to it, you likely won't notice it. But as a business owner, you're missing some key opportunities for you to leverage that energy in your business in your unique way. So, yeah, in Planning by Design, we talk about each of the transits that we move through every 5 to 6 days. It changes. So we are still in this energy of intimacy right now. So I posed the question in our group today. I shared on my story for anyone who is a business owner to honor this cycle, to think about how am I intimately connected with my business? We can certainly translate this into relationships, right? What does my intimacy in my relationships look like? Not just physical intimacy, right? It's emotional intimacy, mental intimacy, all these different aspects. So when we look at our business, which I mean, gosh, I'm with my business more than I'm with any being, I mean, other than my dog, but in my business, right? How am I intimately connected? Is it a loving, trusting, secure attachment within my business? Because in the past, no, it wasn't. It was anxious, it was avoidant. So to be able to look at my business and say, wow, how can I trust it? What do I need to do to deepen this intimate connection? So that's just one example of how to use a transit, but that cycle, right? We move through, it's the set transits. We move through them every year, just like if you are familiar with the astrological transits, right? We just moved into Virgo season. Within Virgo, there's 5 to 6 human design gates. So it's even more specific. And when you pair that transit with your unique design, your human design chart, it could have massive impact. Some of them might not affect you a lot, but I was looking forward to the transit that we move into in a couple of days. And I was like, whoa, that is one of my missing links. That bridges my split. That is a channel that I long to have. So I'm really excited looking forward at that because I'm going to be able to apply that and leverage that into my business in a really special way that like not to put any pressure on this because of course we can access these energies anytime and utilize this, but like this only comes around once a year, so to really take advantage of it can have a really big change personally, but especially in your business.
And what Jen and I both discovered from starting Planning by Design is, oh, my hierarchy of energy is actually different to Jen's, and we leverage different parts of these energy cycles at different times. And I think that was really huge and beautiful to recognize too, because that makes us even more individualized. And so by being able to understand that and track it using our worksheets that we provide for you and understanding what your hierarchy is, then you get to really shine up, show up and shine your light totally beautifully bright. And when you understand that too, you know when to rest, even if, say, the moon is telling you, or people online are telling you, oh, it's the full moon, you should have all this energy, you should be out doing things, but you don't feel like it. You understand why, and that supports you in understanding when is the best time for you to actually be showing up, in your business, going live, working with clients, posting versus kind of doing all the back end stuff. And by having this information, it allows you to feel more successful and have more satisfaction and just show up and shine your light bright. And so we're coming into the month of September, and we'll be able to support you in understanding your human design, those cycles, and getting you all set up to really start. We call it goal setting and planning, but really it's a whole lot of manifestation, right? Because we're goal setting and planning in our lives and our business, but what that's bringing to you is your manifestations. And that's what's really, really exciting.